What's happening, party people? Today I am still in the San Jose area. Man, I remembered that I need some R parts for Lucille back in Cincinnati. Check my video. That car up in that salvage yard that has those R parts is beat up pretty bad. Doors dented, fenders dented, hood, somebody painted over the red black. So, if anyone knows of a red R that is being parted out, that's that 609 paint job, let me know. I may be able to come get it. I need a driver's door, a driver's side front fender, and a passenger rear door. Other than that, when I go to put that car back together when I get to Cincinnati, I'm going to have to send that thing to the body shop to get that thing made nice. Right now, I got a white door on the rear side. I don't think I've put a door on the front yet, but anyway, I do need those 3 panels. Hood looks a little rough on it too. Not dented up, has a couple of rough spots. Somebody put some clear bra on it that has deteriorated. Man, you're supposed to replace that stuff every 4 or 5 years. People leave that stuff on there 20 years. Looks like crap. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a manual swap on this 850 R, pulling the transmission off, putting the other one back on. One of the guys out here let me use their big Milwaukee tool, man. I was willing to give a big deposit, just so people could feel comfortable with getting that thing back. Those things are $500, I could not get the CV axle bolts loose. He loaned it to me, told me keep it as long as I need it. So hopefully I'll get everything that I need done with that thing done today. Get him his tool back. Really appreciate it. Man, some of these folks out here in California, very kind and generous. I appreciate that. So anyway, I still have people back on the east that's waiting on me. I talked to my buddy John. Man, he's got a burnt valve in his 850. The engine I put in his car a year ago, I forgot he even had a burnt valve. He's getting ready to get that cylinder head replaced. I kind of feel bad that I'm out here, and I still got people back on the east side that I got hanging kind of, most of them are waiting on manual swaps, which is no big deal. But a couple of them actually have serious engine issues that need to be fixed, and they're waiting on me to get back there and do it, When I left home, I think I had maybe 4 or 5 people on the schedule. Got out here. This schedule grew out of control, 50, 60 people, and, I might just have to take care of the people that was on the schedule before I left, go back east, take care of my folks out there, and then come back out here maybe September, October to finish up with the folks that are out here. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to sort that out in my mind. I don't like leaving people hanging with their cars broke down waiting on me, but I can't fix them all, just one of me. So other people can fix these cars. It's just different arrangements, and some people got a learning curve. But hey, the videos are out there. If you got to have somebody else fix something, encourage them to use the videos, and hopefully that'll work out good. So anyway, I had to get going for today. It's not going to be as warm today, so that's good. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Here we are, folks. Darren's going to try to clean up some of this mess around here, all this dirt on the ground. So I'm going to pick up all my hardware I'm going to need to put this thing back together. I pulled this bumper down. You got to pull a bumper down just to get at the headlights, change the headlight bulbs in this thing. It's ridiculous. And then when the bumper slid down, the grill popped out. So I got to pop that back in. And he's ordering new lights because he ordered a replacement light and it didn't match the system that's in the car. The V series cars, of course, all the best stuff. It came with high intensity driving lights, and the ones they sent them had the regular lights, but The bulbs were upgraded to HID. That may not even have worked in the system, but they wouldn't have matched for sure. So he ordered 2 new lights. He's going to try to go LED and get this thing situated. There's a weird thing I saw there. This hose I had to disconnect. It has a washer system on the headlight. Here, when you activate the headlight washer, this pops up and squirts water onto the headlight. And then goes back down. Weird. So they have a water hose hooked up to them. You disconnect it there. Anyway, I'm going to pick up my hardware, set this thing to where he can clean under it, and I'm also going to replace the radiator, do an oil change, and maybe do the control arms if they're not too robust. Some of this stuff, man, so heavy duty, it's like a mouse trap or a bear trap. You start pulling stuff loose, then stuff moves, and then you can't get it back together. I got in trouble one time messing with Audi's control arms. I hope to never get in that kind of struggle again. But some of this stuff's heavy duty. You got to do it on the lift. You got to have special tools. You got to have big pry bars, stuff like that to get that done. So be careful when stepping into that stuff. Going to be replacing the radiator on this LS engine. This one's a LS6 2005 Cadillac CTS V series. Got the big V8, as you can see. The radiator comes out of the top. Really not much you need to do down the bottom other than drain it from the lower radiator hose and disconnect the condenser from it. It also has these air guide flap, I guess air baffle things that are attached to it down that way. You can reach down there and pull most of them off and pull it up this way. The only tools you really need is a 10mm and an extension, an 8mm hose, pliers to undo those hoses, and flat tip screwdriver. That's about it. It come out real easy, went in real easy. This thing does not have a drain. A1 Auto has an excellent video for doing this job, so refer to their video. This one's a V8, maybe a little different. First thing I'm going to do is climb under there and disconnect the lower radiator hose and drain that fluid into the radiator drain pan. I believe this car takes the Dex cool. Loosen the 2 10mm screws on the side of the airbox. Loosen the 8mm clamp on the front of the air plenum. Lift it up and out so that you can reach and release the MAP sensor or mass airflow sensor from the tube, and then set that back out of the way. Next, I'm going to get this screw out from the side of the fan shroud. It's a Phillips right there. You can do it with a shorty. If you can't reach it with a shorty there, you need to take the rest of the airbox out, 10mm. Maneuver this up and out of the way. Now I'm going to unplug the fan, knock the cable loose from the fan, and then unplug this from the fan as well, and take these brackets loose here. Take this screw loose, that screw loose, and that screw loose, and maneuver the fan up and out of here. I'm also going to take this loose so that I can take this tube off the top of the radiator. I'm going to disconnect these 2 hoses so that I can get the fan out with the radiator. But before I do that, I'm going to unplug this because I don't want to damage that trying to get these radiator hoses loose. I don't see no way of getting these fans out of here without pulling it out with the radiator. So I'm going to disconnect the transmission lines from the radiator on the bottom and then undo it from the condenser here, and down below, and then pull the radiator up and out of here with the fan attached to it. Other than that, you're just going to break your radiator fan shroud piece like I started to do there. Just not enough room with all this stuff on the V8. Maybe if you pulled that thermostat housing off, you can maneuver it out of there, but with this pipe there, I don't see how it's possible. You got this and that taking up your space. I'm going to use this fuel line disconnect tool set to disconnect the transmission lines from the bottom of the radiator. It appears that this car has a transcooler, so it should not have any transmission lines hooked up to the radiator. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the condenser here, there, and up top 10 millimeters and try to slide that radiator out with the fan. That's the transmission cooler there, so there was no trans lines hooked up to the radiator. And if you look at the radiator here that came out with the fans, there's no trans cooler lines connected to it. So if you purchased a radiator with transmission lines, don't worry about them, just ignore them. Go ahead and move the fan over, make sure the fan locks in, slide this thing back down in there, and try to clip those vents back in the radiator like this one, like these were here. In this car, those things were hard to pull out. They're woven through the body of the car. And get that back down there and hook up that lower radiator hose so it could quit leaking. Make sure you take these cushions off of the old radiator. You'll need them in the new. I took them off and put them in there. Secure these back. Plug the fans in. Reconnect this refrigerant line to the fan shroud. Make sure your wires are secure where they're supposed to be. Now I'm going to put the top brackets back on because I secured the condenser back to the radiator. I'm going to put these mounts back on top. Then I'm going to hook up this radiator hose. And then I'm going to put this hose here on, and then I'm going to fill the system back up. Now you want to double check all your hoses, connections, make sure your fan's hooked up, your clamps are positioned properly on your hoses. You got everything hooked up and connected before you put your air box in, your air filter, your Plenium on, and close this up. Just double check everything. I'm going to be replacing the radiator on this LS engine. This one's the LS6 2005 Cadillac CTS V series. Got the big V8 as you can see. The radiator comes out of the top. Really not much you need to do down the bottom other than drain it from the lower radiator hose and disconnect the condenser from it. It also has these air guide flap, I guess air baffle things that are attached to it down that way. You can reach down there and pull most of them off and pull it up this way. The only tools you really need is a 10 millimeter and an extension, an 8 millimeter, hose pliers to undo those hoses, and flat tip screwdriver. That's about it. It come out real easy, went in real easy. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.